Warning! Opinion!
Yeah, I hate that I'm titling Orxon as the worst planet in the game as well. And look, don't get me wrong, I love the atmosphere of this place. As toxic as it is. The main problem with Orxon is just that it's so damn slow. I almost never look forward to coming here when I haven't acquired the O2 mask from Poketaro yet. You want to go at a normal pace? Nope. Clank section 1 for the Magna Boots. You want to go at a normal pace now? Nope. Clank section number 2 for the Poketaro Infobot. Back to back. Okay, fine, come back here later with the O2 mask and now you can play as Ratchet at a normal pace. Oh no! Wishful thinking. Now look, I'm not an idiot. I do know that, to an extent, that's actually the whole point of the planet. To make the former blog homeworld so dangerous. Especially in regards to these crustaceans on steroids. But my god, a lot of the time you're spending on this planet is trying to go through it at such a slow pace, just so you don't end up being reckless and getting yourself killed. Sorry, I'd love to place this higher, but Orxon, in my opinion, is the worst planet in the entire game. I never dread coming to a planet more than this one in the original game. Now, I'm actually kind of surprised with this one. Just what did this Gadgetron HQ site do to me exactly? It looks beautiful and harmless, right? Well, a lot of people like to point at Oltanis as being a level that introduces a steep difficulty spike, but whoo boy, I barely see anyone bring up this level for doing the exact same thing. Like, is it just a me thing? This final section of the planet just always gets me for some reason. Well, if Orxon is the antithesis to the game's overall pacing, then Kalebo 3 is the antithesis to the game's overall level design. Now, what do a lot of Ratchet & Clank 1 planets have in common, especially the more popular ones? Well, most of the time, it's to do with you having enough space around you to maneuver and dodge enemies. This is especially important in the first game, as you do not have a good strafe feature to help you out here. Shut up, that doesn't count. So, having enough space to move about, dodge, and counterattack is absolutely vital. On Kalebo 3 though? Yeah, I hope you ain't claustrophobic, pal. The majority of the planet is in corridors or tight spaces where you really don't have that much room to run about and dodge. So unless you have the Visibomb gun, you're fucked. Royally. And honestly, the planet isn't that interesting in terms of level design. It's just a straight shot with claustrophobic tendencies. Yes, I like the racetrack and, well, I do actually like this grind rail section. And I think this is the best hoverboarding track in the game, but Roga already did this, making it less unique. Honestly, this isn't even really a complaint on my end, but in addition to everything else, that's why the Gadgetron site is the second worst planet in the game. I cannot believe that the planet I'm about to announce next is above this one, but I think it just might be. Now, here's the thing about Hoven. I like its verticality. It's pretty unique in that sense. But, honestly, I feel like the level kinda drags a little bit. Like, I don't know, is it really just me here? I like the main path, as well as the side path for the Raritanium and this guy.
Oh, heck.
But I feel like the whole slippery ice floor gimmick wasn't really used that much for a snowy planet. I know it's a pain in the ass to control yourself, but figuring out you could use the new thruster pack strafe feature to sort of circumvent it, especially near the end of the level with that tightrope design, that felt good. But yeah, I think my main gripe with this planet is the Hydrodisplacer puzzle area that you need to go through for the Hydro Pack. Once you already know what to do, it's pretty much a time sink, and not really that engaging. I don't dread it as much as the two back-to-back Clank sections on Orxon, but it is close enough. Oh, and this planet is where speedruns came and died for decades, and I think they still do? Oh, don't give me that look, I'm not a speedrunner. So yeah, Hoven. A decent planet, but kinda drags a little bit. Now, if you would have asked me a year or two ago what my least favourite planet in the whole game was, I would have pointed to Eudora. Well, as you can obviously tell, I was a fucking idiot, because this planet does have some redeeming qualities. The Suck Cannon path is pretty nice, and the deforestation level theme is quite unique and stands out. And now the positive stuff ends. This planet just feels like the closest thing to filler in the entirety of Ratchet 1. The main path, which you have to use the Trespasser to access, is without a doubt the shortest and easiest main path in the entire game, bar none. It's like the damn level just wants to get itself over with. If that doesn't exude filler like some smelly expired milk, then I don't know what the hell else does. So yeah, in general, it's mainly because of the main path length. If anything, I feel like the suck cannon path and the main path should have been swapped. You get the suck cannon for exploring Iridia and getting the Trespasser, rewarding you for it, and you get a more substantial and meaty level. But, alas, we don't live in that alternate reality, and that's why Eudora is 16th. Better luck next time, nature. Speaking of Iridia, I am, for the umpteenth time, shocked at myself that I'm placing Iridia this low. And look, I like the vibe of the level. The Sand Shark area theme being tattooed onto my brain in particular, it's so good. But yeah, honestly, I just feel like, once again, the level design just isn't really that interesting. The Swing Shop Fortress area was pretty cool, but it's obviously there to further instruct and train you on using it, not really being that much of a challenge. Now, I can't really fault the planet for doing this, as the difficulty is just right for early game progression, obviously. But, unfortunately, there's not really that much I can say or do on Iridia once you know what to expect. It's piss easy, and the level just isn't really that interesting. Not really sure what else to comment on. I like the vibe, and the level design isn't really all that intriguing. Moving on. Let's get one thing clear right now. The music on this planet, oh my goodness, it rocks! I could listen to it all day. It's fitting, catchy, fits the theme of Ratchet sneaking through the ship whilst firing the loudest and most powerful weapons in the galaxy. It's great. But unfortunately, we've kinda got a Calibro 3 problem with the corridor-based level design. And yeah, I get it, you're in a big ship. There's not really that much they could have done. But they did a solid job. You've got the underwater section, in space, yes. You've got the Magna Boot section where you're outside of the ship, seeing those massive turrets firing at you. You've got the jet fighter section where you destroy the turrets to progress with equally great music playing there, which was actually reused for Planet Mylon in Up Your Arsenal, the final planet in that game. I like Drex Fleet, but it has its shortcomings. You'll have to be relying on and using the hologuise quite a few times. And honestly, the creativity for its implementation is very simplistic, unlike Quartu, where it was better used in my opinion. And I hate to say it, but if there was another level that could also kind of be considered filler, I would have to pick this level along with Eudora. Let's sneak onto Drek's ship to find out where he set up that deplanetizer laser. Even though we already know he's gonna be targeting Veldin. What the fuck? I can't fault Veldin. It's iconic to the series. It always brings a smile on my face to see Kaizil Plateau again and again. It's sorta like Ratchet's Green Hill Zone, even if Kerwan, or Metropolis, is the most iconic and well known.
Green Hill's looking a lot more like Sand Hill right now.
For an introduction level, it's great at setting the theme of the game and showing you what you'll be in for. It's memorable. But the reason why it's only number 13 is simply because it's an introduction level. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. You've got space to move around and get used to the controls. It feels very comforting in a way to test out your moves of the wrench, Ratchet's movement, and even the bomb glove, your very first weapon. Still though, it ends too quickly. But obviously, this is to be expected. It's an intro level. I almost considered not including it on the list, but in the end, Veldin's too iconic, man. Okay, now this is the real level 1 of the game. Not kidding, by the way, this is literally marked as level 1 in the game files. Right from the start, you've got the main path, which feels kinda like a nice stroll, honestly. You've once again got space, enemies using your weapons to an extent, with these big yellow guys using what looks to also be bombs. You're introduced to the Gadgetron Bender for the first time, where you can buy the Pyrocitor. You've got multiple parts showing the interiors and the caves. You can see the entire main path and level from the windows of the interior path, which is just sick as hell, honestly. And you meet God.
Dad blast it!
And his big behind.
Look, plumber's crack.
What did you just say?
I said, look, the plumber's back.
Alright, wise guy.
If you know, you know. So yeah, Novalis is a pretty nice level that builds off of Veldin. I always like coming here as well. Oh, and when you come back here after having the Hydro Pack from Hoven, seeing that bit more to the level with a creative usage for it, where you're swimming against the current, extremely cool. Okay, I'll just be upfront. If it wasn't for Battalia's more fleshed out level design due to being an almost mid-game level, I would have ranked it below Novalis for sure. But, well, I guess I just told you. Now, if you also asked me a year or two ago, I would have put this slightly higher than Eudora. But that was it. I wasn't really all that big on the level theming. But the grind rail section is pretty nice, even if it is quite easy. There's the Sandmouse location that absolutely rips apart tanks like paper, feeling so satisfying. And the Trespasser puzzle here is actually somewhat challenging. There's also the subtle wall jump slots that house a pretty decently hidden gold bolt above it on the roof. I guess this was just a planet I started to get appreciation for as time went on. Battalia really isn't all that bad. It's not my favourite by any means, but it's decent. Good for you, Battalia.
Ooh, hi. Where are we going? Hey, lady, where are we going? Let's go space.
I think the only reason Nebula G34, or Blog Station, if you will, is above Battalia for me is for the same reason that Battalia is above Novalis, the more fleshed out level design. I'm not too big on the aesthetic of the place, but it is memorable. Can be somewhat challenging, which is a plus for me personally. The skill point where you have to defeat the alien queen with only the wrench is surprisingly fun because it doesn't drag. And yeah, that's about all I can think of really. Not all too fond of the Clank section due to it being, you guessed it, slow. But I don't mind it nearly as much as Auxon's. Nowhere near it. I like the enemies here too. They just really fit the place overall. The final planet of Ratchet 1, and man, it feels like a climax. The badass red skies, being able to see a lot more of Veldin than what you could before at the start of the game, the difficulty, feeling like you're really having to wade through the most defenses that Drek has put up against you yet, all culminating in having to rely on Giant Clank to help you get through to Drek, as well as the final battle, and again, the music! It's so good, so good! But why is it number 9 for me? Well, I think it's probably because nothing new really appears or shows up here in this level. Like, don't get me wrong, with what Insomniac had on hand, this is a good level. I mean, 9th place out of 19, or 18 if you don't count Veldin 1, is nothing to scoff at. I like Veldin 2. But a lot of the following levels just provided more value to me, and stood out more due to having more original stuff whilst also having enjoyable level designs or locales. The Commandos, you've already seen them on Kalibo 3. The ships, already seen them on Kalibo 3. You see what I'm getting at here? Anyway, good final level, but it's not the best overall. And I don't think that's terribly unpopular opinion. Yeah, I'll apologize for this one, I'm sorry. Now, I love the part of the Hovercon race entrance area. You get to see a lot of the city, enemies that aren't all against you, connecting back to the infobot you saw on Blog Station of these robot gods and the Amoeboids fighting it out.
In related news,
it's a great time. Also some pretty unique visual design that is also super memorable. But we've got Hoven syndrome over here. I kinda don't look forward to the Hydrodisplacer section. It's the same thing. You know what to do, it just feels like a chore. Honestly, now that I'm writing all this out, I feel like any planet that features the Hydrodisplacer feels like a chore. The sewer escape bit is nice, but when I come to this planet, I mainly think of the hoverboard racing track, as well as the path to get to it. That's my railgun. But yeah, if it wasn't for the Hydrodisplacer section just personally feeling like a chore, I'd definitely rate Railgar higher. But sadly, I'm trying to look at all of these planets as a complete package. And this package has a few imperfections in it. I'm definitely getting dislikes from this one. Unpopular opinion. This planet is a bop. Popular opinion. I meant that literally.
That is motherfucking brutal. Like two laws changed. I was playing in the beginning. The boot all changed. I was boot up and spit out and boot off stage. But I kept rhyming and set right in the next cycle. Best believe somebody paying the bar cycle. On pain inside amplified by the fact that I can't keep the hook of my nine to find that I can't provide the right type of like a war doing with man. You goddamn two damn the right type. Let me go. This is my life. These times are so hard. And it's getting harder trying to beat the wall of my C+. Single time I call between beats. out to the door. Big ones drop into a torch. Lost time bright and bright.
Now, I can already see some of you going, wait, Quartu above Rilgar? Are you insane? Brushing aside that the obvious answer is yes. Yes, I did. Main reason being, I just feel like what you could do on Quartu is a lot more interesting. And I just overall like how the whole planet looks and feels to be in. The green sky, the timed underwater section with the Hydro Pack, becoming Giant Clank for the first time and just feeling ultra powerful, infiltrating the robot factory, meeting Clank's mother properly this time. Hello, ma'am. The only planet in the game that tries to add a little bit of extra ledge challenge with shimmying across said ledge. This planet is honestly underrated. Oh, and obviously, the funkiest track in the franchise. Get out of here, Groovinator. You've got nothing on Quartu. Well, except for maybe... I'm not making any friends with this video, aren't I? Yes, Kaio is 6th place. Any sane person would have put this as 1st place due to how iconic it is. And don't get me wrong, it is. There's a reason why Kaio is the Ratchet & Clank planet of all time, and why it's appeared again in Up Your Arsenal, Tools of Destruction, and even Sony's little Smash Bros. Clone called PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, for representing the Ratchet & Clank series. Hell, even going Commando's planet in Darko in the Bogon Galaxy takes a lot of design liberties off of this place. Kaio is just that iconic, and it's not hard to see why. You've got the obstacle course section, the absurdly beautiful cityscape scenery that feels omnipresent wherever you go, the train station, Al's Robo Shack, meeting Helga for the first time. There's so much to remember.
The two of you make me sick!
But the main problem with Kaio for me, personally, is that once you've already seen it so many times, the gameplay of the place remains engaging, but it does lose a bit of that wonder. And look, I do acknowledge that this isn't the fairest piece of criticism, as it can apply to, well, literally any level on this list. And look, Kaio is still a fun planet to traverse through, just not as much as the next 5 planets on this list in my opinion. Oh man, I'm getting a little tired. Maybe I just want to relax and leave all my thoughts and troubles behind. Wait a second. I feel like it was almost a certainty that Poketaro would be this high on the list. So, here it is, in the top 5. And I gotta talk about this real quick. Poketaro's main level theme is musical genius. And I don't think I've ever seen or heard anybody talk about this before. Now, on a surface level, it's just a rearrangement, remix, whatever the term is called, of Velden, our intro level for the game. This might sound lazy, but let's not forget, the whole premise of Jowai Resort is a place for you to be comfortable and leave all your troubles behind, like the resort owner advertises in the info bar. And that's all Ratchet has been wanting the whole game up until Gimlet. So having the music be a rearrangement of Ratchet's home planet theme? Genius! Anyway, onto the actual planet. It's always really relaxing to be here. Well, except for these pufferfish, these can die in a hole. The resort owner is quirky and memorable, you get the thruster pack here, get to use the jet fighter and fly over the entire level, whilst being able to see the enemy ships in the sky before you even fight them, swim underwater just like the infobot advertised when you've got the O2 mask, with plenty of area to swim in, with a little secret path off to the side for a gold bolt. Poketaro lives up to its name and its promises, and I just really like the vibe of the planet. And the sewers? Still equally relaxing with the music. Oh, and the jet fighter theme was reused for Up Your Arsenal's boss fight in Annihilation Nation. That's how you know this planet and its music kicks ass. No real complaints, honestly. The planet is pretty interesting to traverse through, and is unique enough in its progression.
You've gotta love the Doctor's narcissism. The bastard carved his face into a mountainside. Why? Because he could.
This planet is badass, and I love it. Sure, it's linear, but it's somewhat lengthy, and I really dig and adore it all. I think you all can already tell from this list that I've got a bit of a hard-on for the more challenging and difficult levels, and Umbris definitely scratches that itch. The music needs no introduction. Ah, fuck it, I can't resist.
We're gonna get this place.
But yeah, it feels great to progress on this level. Definitely one of the most memorable ones for me. The Hydrodisplacer bit near the end with the Sharkagators is suffering from a bit of Rilgar syndrome, but it's nowhere near as bad, in my opinion. It doesn't take long at all for it to be over. Oh, and you fight the Blodgy and Snaggle Beast at the end. Another big plus. This planet is just the most PlayStation 2 sounding and playing planet in the game, and I love it. Yes, not a very helpful descriptor, I know, but that's just genuinely how I feel. And the music is brilliant. The different parts are all highly distinct and just never get old for me, and yeah, actually, that's the most accurate description for this planet. It never gets old for me. There's just something about it that's hard to describe that just gives me a certain level of joy. I like playing through this planet, and I think it's very unique compared to the rest. I'd love to describe it further, but I can't at the moment, so let's move on to second place. Is it really any surprise Gemlik is this high either? The atmosphere, the enemies, the feeling of progression, finally being able to face off against Captain Cunt after being teased and taunted back on Umbris. I love this level. And I don't really think there's that much I can add. Aside from the aforementioned unique enemy encounters with the enemy ships, the Blogman turrets, the flying bird things, etc. Well, that is, except for my number one pick. And anybody who knows what I've been doing lately will know painfully well what that is. Ladies and degenerates, I present to you, number 1. Okay, this might be a spoiler, but I don't give a shit. Oltanis just might be the best planet in the entire trilogy. Yes, I said it. This planet is just, man, it's just everything, man. It's so good. The high number of parts you can take, the challenge, the theming, the music, the level visuals, the story impact. Oltanis genuinely has it all, in my opinion. Oh, and did you know you could use this planet for ASMR or to help you sleep? Now how are you going to advertise or place any other planet above this one?
Now, how much do you think Microsoft Windows is worth?
I mean, think about it. You defeat Quark on Gemlik, Ratchet finally realizes his mistakes, finally and properly befriends Clank, and as soon as he does, he has to go alone without him in this level. It's that kind of timing that can make some of the writing feel more impactful than just spelling it out loud ever could. And speaking of which, that's actually what I kind of love the most about this level, the fact that it's Ratchet only. You spend so much time throughout the game, probably in Ratchet's shoes, taking Clank for granted, and then when he's taken away, you feel that. More than any other level, possibly in the trilogy, or maybe even in the entire franchise, can make you feel. They're important together, and no other level kicks your ass and hammers in that fact than Oltanis. You will get your ass kicked by this level on your first go around, and guess what? That's a good thing. I'm labeling it as tough love. Also, now that I think about it, it's kind of funny that Gemlik is number 2. Of course we have Oltanis Orbit and then the actual Oltanis back to back on this list. Going off script here, I do have one small complaint about this planet. You see, the whole reason why Clank can't follow you and actually be used in the level and why he has to stay in the ship is because of the thunderstorm. But in that case, how the hell did we touch down on the planet without getting torched? And how is every single enemy in this level a fucking robot? Explain! So yeah, that's my personal take on why I believe Oltanis is the best planet in Ratchet & Clank 1. And perhaps even the entire trilogy. Perhaps even the franchise. Yes. But who knows, maybe I'll reevaluate someday if I ever do a similar video like this on the other games. Speaking of which, I'm gonna drag this outro out, but subscribe, leave a like, and maybe even comment with your favorite and least favorite planet. Or trash me for my opinions towards your oyster. Anyway, I don't really have anything left to say, so I hope to see you all again in a future upload. Laters.